What was once a small genre in South Korea, K-pop is now a global sensation with millions of fans. From cringe-worthy 2000s hairstyles to top-tier production, everything has evolved. But how many of these changes in the K-pop industry were really necessary? Let's find out. K-pop, short for Korean pop, which we're obsessed with today, actually started back in the early 1990s. And while that might not seem like too long ago, trust us, a lot has changed in these 20 to 30 years. For starters, the term K-pop didn't even exist until the 2000s. Before that, K-pop was just called Gayo, which is also used to describe domestic pop music in Korea. However, the modern K-pop we know today started to take shape with the debut of groups like So-tie-jee and Boys in 1992. They completely shook up the Korean music scene by blending Western styles like hip-hop, rock, and techno with the traditional K-pop sound. Fast forward to the early 2000s, the industry began to professionalize with entertainment powerhouses like SM Entertainment, YG Entertainment, and JYP Entertainment, creating highly structured, idol-centric groups, leading to the rise of legendary boy bands and girl groups like H.O.T and S.E.S. But here's a fun fact. Light sticks weren't even a thing back then. So, can you guess what K-pop fans used to cheer for their idols at concerts? Balloons! If you're a fan of the K-drama Reply 1997, you probably remember this quirky detail. In the early days of K-pop, fans waved colored balloons to show love and support for their favorite groups. Over time, those balloons gave way to the generic light sticks we all know, and by 2006, they evolved into the personalized, battery-powered LED light sticks we use today. Big Bang, one of the iconic second-generation K-pop groups, was said to be one of the first, if not the first, to receive their very own official light stick. By the 2010s, K-pop exploded onto the global stage with groups like BTS, EXO, and Blackpink, reaching massive international success. However, the digital age, social media, and streaming platforms played a key role in propelling K-pop's global popularity. Back in the day, Twitter and Instagram weren't like they are now. Idols used old Korean sites like Me Today and UFO Town, but Psyworld was the most popular of them all. This little website listed all members from the same hometown or school, and it updated your address book automatically, with all the deets you put in. But don't get it wrong, it wasn't really about sharing your feelings or posting selfies. It was more like a way for people to connect, so they could meet up in real life. And of course, you could only join if you had a Korean resident registration number, so international fans were disappointed big time. Furthermore, before iTunes and Spotify turned the music world into a polished, predictable paradise, downloading was a hard process. Music had to be painstakingly ripped from CDs and shared on shady international forums. If someone didn't upload your favorite group's latest bop, then, well, you probably weren't getting it. Fans who craved live streaming had to rely on sketchy programs like TV Ants. Unfortunately, the stream quality was beyond awful, and your computer might catch a nasty bug along the way. Video downloads were also a test of your patience and tech skills with downloading, splitting, and reassembling, just to watch a clip that barely loaded. Talking about K-pop's global takeover, it wouldn't have happened without subtitles. Back in the day, international fans had two options: learn Korean or learn Korean. Until the 2000s, subtitles were nearly impossible to find, especially for the less popular groups without dedicated teams. It didn't help that many Korean channels lacked official YouTube accounts and would aggressively copyright claim any videos of their shows uploaded to the platform. So, fan-made subbing teams had to get creative, using cryptic symbols in the titles to dodge those takedowns. Quite a hurdle, wasn't it? But what really hurt was how mysterious and private K-pop idols used to be. Totally nothing like the open books we see today. They kept their personal lives so locked down that fans actually believed they didn't even, poop. EXO's L loves to joke about how EXO's mysterious concept failed jokingly. But back in the day, that celebrity mystery was a serious persona. Fast forward to now, and most idols have tossed that mystique aside. These days, they're inviting fans into their lives with reality shows, home tours, and live streams. Idols have become way more relatable and more in touch with their fans, which might just be why K-pop groups are lasting longer compared to the old days. The biggest groups from the 90s barely made it for longer years, including H.O.T, which lasted 5, and Zeke's Keys, just 3. But now successful K-pop groups are sticking around for at least 7 years, with many renewing their contracts like it's nothing. Although idols today still face dating bans and whispers, it's nothing compared to the dating drama of the 1990s. Back then, phones weren't allowed, and idols had to rely on staff to secretly pass along messages. Some got creative, slipping notes into vending machines or taping their contact info under soda cans. And forget about congratulations, idol relationships were met with threats, not well wishes. In 2011, H.O.T, Danny, revealed how idols' private lives were so locked down that exchanging phone numbers was like a top-secret mission. Today, dating might seem easier thanks to social media, but the strictness and fear still remain. Many idols must maintain an innocent image, with agencies enforcing dating bans and fans being possessive. If an idol is even rumored to be dating, expect outrage and demands for apologies. This can seriously harm careers, with some idols facing a backlash that affects their popularity. Idol interactions, once full of support and friendship, have also become rare because of this fear. One of the most heartwarming past moments was when 17 were rookies and went to greet Super Junior in their dressing room. After waiting outside, they were welcomed warmly by Super Junior, blasting 17's song, dancing, and singing along. Inspired, 17 later did the same for junior groups. But fans miss those moments of interaction between male and female idols. Now, even casual conversations feel like a crime. You can see it at awards shows, because what used to be a space for fun exchanges now feels more like a stage for carefully calculated moves. Another big change is how we can now actually witness the intense training K-pop idols undergo, something we didn't see in the past. The K-pop world is undeniably dominated by the big three, SM, JYP, and YG. Unlike American agencies, which focus on discovering raw talent and shaping it into stardom, Korean entertainment companies take a far more calculated approach. They don't just find stars, they make them. Teens are handpicked and then put through years of demanding training, singing, rapping, dancing, acting, mastering foreign languages, dieting, and sometimes even undergoing plastic surgery. All to craft the perfect idol. But only a small number actually make it through the intense selection process. This meticulous manufacturing system is what transforms idols into the gods and goddesses fans obsess over. But no system is flawless. This idol factory is expensive and time-consuming, requiring years of preparation, resources, and money. And the toll it takes on the idols is huge. These idols are expected to be everywhere, do everything, and be perfect. It's not uncommon for them to survive on just 2 to 4 hours of sleep, working through holidays and grueling schedules. This makes many idols lose hope before they even make it. Take Twice's Ji-hyo, for example. She spent 10 years as a trainee, but one of her toughest moments was watching her debut team disband. Before Twice, Ji-hyo was set to debut in a group called Six Mix, but that plan fell apart, and that's when Ji-hyo almost called it quits. But lucky for her, all that hard work paid off when she got another shot and became the powerhouse vocal of Twice. Then we have Red Velvet's Seol-gi, who trained for 7 years, but her biggest challenge was a lack of confidence. After seeing the insane talent around her at SM Entertainment, Seol-gi started feeling insecure, even going as far as to practice alone because she hated her voice. At one point, she seriously questioned if this was the right path for her. But with a little help from her mom, Seol-gi found her footing and debuted as the main dancer and lead vocalist of Red Velvet. It seems like even the most successful K-pop groups have had to bend over backward for their success, as the Blackpink girls revealed in their Netflix documentary, Blackpink Light Up the Sky, that they practiced for 14 hours a day to perfect their performances, and practically lived off just eggs and strawberry jam with their tight budget as trainees. Next is a change that's definitely controversial. Fans argue that K-pop now prioritizes visuals over talent, especially compared to the old days. When it comes to girl groups, the emphasis on looks is more obvious than ever. Back then, groups were more diverse in terms of appearances. Think of idols like Amber, Minzy, or Hoyeon, who weren't considered traditional beauties by Korean standards but still made it to top girl groups. The harsh truth is that in an industry where success often depends on how you perform on stage and how you present yourself to the camera, visuals are essential. Turns out the reason idols work so hard to lose weight and look their best, despite being overworked, is because K-pop even has a position specifically for visuals, so the labels assign the main visual role, clearly designating idols like Yoona, Suzy, and Irene. Today, though, there's a positive shift as this visual role is slowly fading, and the whole group is now expected to be visuals. In the past, many groups had members who weren't held to these high standards, creating more diverse looks within a group. With new gen groups, however, it's tougher to debut as just a visual. Now, talent in dancing, singing, or having a strong fan appeal is just as important, if not more. But ironically, being a visual is still almost a requirement. To stand out, idols need to balance the visual duties alongside other skills like singing or rapping, creating a dynamic where beauty is both a standard and an expectation. Last but never least, with more groups adding English lyrics to their songs, collaborating with top Western artists, and appearing on major international shows, it's clear the industry has undergone a massive global transformation, and idols seem more confident of their talent now. While we all know changes are inevitable, K-pop will always be K-pop at its heart. So what other changes do you think are worth discussing? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.